You know, families are filled with different people, with different personalities and different opinions. It's what makes family life fun and also challenging. My next guest says if you understand the players, though, you'll feel better about the game. Dr. Matt Townsend believes there are 4 basic roles we all play naturally or intuitively in our interactions and in our conversations. This is sort of an analysis, like a personality profile that will help us what? Help us communicate better?
To help you understand that they're not just being a jerk, they're actually weirdly playing a role in the dynamics of a conversation.
Okay.
And they're very natural roles. Everybody's playing them. So I was on vacation, and you got to organize everything.
Let's just pause and acknowledge the tan that is Townsend today. You're looking very good.
I was going to wear like a crop top, but I don't know what a crop top exactly is.
Okay, well, good.
And Marty said, you won't pull that off.
Okay. You hit the beach with your fam.
Hit the beach with my fam, but then you've got all these, and I have adult kids, and a lot of them have opinions. And then we have young kids, right, that don't have opinions, aren't they? Oh, look at that.
Look at the Townsend
It's so
crew.
fun. But it's so fun because we would go do things and everyone had different things they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you'd start to see these roles appear. And like somebody would start moving. They'd like, okay, let's go to the beach. Let's do this. And then someone might oppose them. Not the beach. Let's play tennis.
Okay.
And then someone would immediately start following on one or the other. And then there's usually one that's kind of observing and watching. And then they add new insight. So there's roles we play, and once you see the roles, you'll see them in every fight, you'll see them in every situation, in every dynamic, in every interaction. They're in every human interaction.
So do you find that if I'm the mover, for example, am I usually the mover, or do people rotate seats on the bus?
That's what I want you to think about as we talk about this, because if you tend to be always the mover, you need to learn 3 other roles. Because otherwise, you only know one role.
Okay.
And so it's like playing a game where you only know how to be the mover. Like the mover does this, okay? The mover initiates action and the starting point of all interactions, ideas and agendas. They focus the conversation. The mover's the one that brings up the topic, that leads the moment, that says, let's go do this, and they jump on it. Now, it's great, right? Because they're very directing, they're very disciplined, it seems like, but they also kind of get a bad rap for being like arrogant, omnipotent. Everybody thinks they know everything. They're in charge. They're controlling.
Kind of aggressive.
But movers are great because movers start conversations. Movers start action to take place. Whenever you have a mover, you usually have a follower. And the follower is very different, right? They pretty much just want to do whatever the mover says.
They're a go with the flow.
They just want to go with it. They agree quickly. They comply. They get on board. They just jump right in. So in a dynamic, you'll see a lot of movers that are strong, and they might be married to a really quick follower. The problem with followers is what they're looking for is loyalty. They're very loyal. They're trying to complete the situation. They're compassionate. They kind of seem like they're weak. They don't have an opinion. They're wishy-washy, okay? So those are 2 dynamics going on. By the way, it's in every conversation. And sometimes you may not care, and sometimes you care. And if you don't care, you might just follow. Yeah, let's do that.
I was going to say, that's a role that I could see you oscillating into.
No, totally. Every one of these. And so you may not care if we go to the beach or not, but you might care that we eat first. We're going to eat first, then we're going to go to the beach.
Okay.
So then you'll move on that idea. The third role is what we call the opposer. The opposer is going to just challenge pretty much whatever's been brought up by the mover.
Why do they do this?
Because they're evil. No, what they're doing is they have another idea and they want their voice to be heard. And there's just an idea that's contrary to yours. Like they may not want to go to the beach. They may want to go play tennis, and let's not eat. Let's have a big dinner later. And it's a completely contrary position. But why they're so valuable is because if you allow opposers to oppose, instead of shutting them down, then now we have 2 ideas in the game. So now we have an alternative idea in play. Sometimes if you have too dominant of a mover and followers, then you don't have any opposition ever.
I love that you're giving us pause and pushing us to really honor that position, because even as you were describing it, I'm like, oh, they're obstinate, they're negative, there's nothing good about this position, but you're saying honor the contrast.
And they're very into integrity, and they have courage. So you want these people around. You don't want everyone in the room to just be yes people. You want people to push back a little bit, and the deal is they'll sound like complainers, they'll sound a little critical. Then the last person, the last player, is what we call the bystander. They're just observing.
Taking it in.
They're taking it in. They don't have a side. They don't have a horse in the race. They're just watching, but they have insight. So what they bring is neutrality, but insight and perspective. And it might be the person that says, you know what? we are going to go wherever we go, we're taking the kids. And I don't think the kids will be able to go do either of those activities if we don't feed them first. So we probably ought to feed them. And then let's also remember that we don't have to both go everywhere. We can all go where we want to go.
Guess what?
Some can go to the beach.
I'm married to a bystander,
Are
and
you?
I love him
It's
for that.
so powerful.
Because there is an observational strength
Yeah.
about Mark
Yeah.
and about
Right.
these kind of people that I think is so valuable.
And then what we need Mark to always do is stand up and move sometimes and bring the idea. And then if everyone can start rotating the roles, the healthiest relationships allow all the roles in the conversation. And if I'm going to oppose you, I'm going to do it in a genteel way, in a soft, caring way, instead of having to blow you up. And if I'm going to move, I'm going to know I have to enroll you. I might also, if I move, always ask the bystander in the moment what they're thinking. Try to invite the bystander in.
Yeah.
Right? So it's powerful.
Well, what a fascinating challenge, too, to maybe go into a family vacation or a
Dynamic.
party and say, I'm going to play a different role. Just yesterday, I was down in the Utah County, called my sister, can I grab you? Can I take you to dinner? And maybe I'm technically the mover a lot of times.
In that moment, you're the mover, and you're the older sister.
But I didn't want to choose where.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, no, wherever you want to go, wherever, thinking that I would say, all right, let's go here. Finally, I was like, well, you just make a choice. I'm out of decision-making power.
I'm done there.
The idea to switch roles, though, I think is a really cool challenge.
Totally. And so if anyone was listening and they're like, I tend to always be the mover,
Yeah.
then learn the other roles.
Yeah.
And there's certain times to oppose.
Sure.
There really are. And
Sure.
there's certain times to not oppose and just follow. If you really don't care, just follow. Just follow.
Yeah.
Shut your caker and follow.
The caker.
But if shut your cake hole.
We've abbreviated it.
Yeah. So there's power in this dynamic. And then the other thing is you don't have to be offended by anyone because everyone's just playing a role.
I think you've brought honor to each role.
there's power.
Purpose and power to
That's
each
right.
role. That's cool.
They're not
cool.
just jerks.
They're not just.
They're opposers.
I don't like that word.
Yeah.
But you can say it with playfulness, and
you
lands heavy
can't.
when I say
Well,
it. Okay.
yeah.
Tell us about your upcoming event.
So we've got some big retreats in October that I wanted to let everybody know about. We're going to Zion's again.
Cool.
Huge houses down there in Zion's that we can bring about 20 couples together, play, sing, have fun, tons of stuff.
Awesome.
That's in October, and the other one is Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
We're going, and you can get a tan like this.
Nice.
So hot.
Nice.
Just go to matttownsend.com, and when you go there, you can just look up our events and get online. Sign up now because we fill up fast.
Yeah, lots of good things coming. MattTownsend.com is where you want to go. Glad you're back.
Glad
you had a great time.
Thank you.
Love Tan Townsend.